Let us begin with a fundamental truth. In all of nature's most powerful transformations, there is no announcement, no declaration, no explanation. Consider how night turns to day. Does the sun send a warning before it rises? Does darkness announce its departure? No, my dear friends. The transition happens in perfect silence with absolute naturality. I remember a lady who came to me in Detroit. She had been struggling with a situation at her workplace that no longer served her highest good. For months, she had been announcing her intentions to leave, explaining her dissatisfaction to anyone who would listen, constantly declaring her upcoming departure. Yet she remained stuck, bound by invisible chains to the very situation she wished to leave. Then she heard this principle of silent departure, and everything changed. Let me share with you what I call the law of silent exodus. This law states that every significant transformation in your life must follow the pattern of nature's most powerful force, silence. Think about a leaf falling from a tree. Does it announce its departure? Does it explain to the other leaves why it must go? Does it seek validation for its decision to let go? No, it simply releases its hold when the time is right. And in that silent letting go, it finds its perfect path. You see, when you announce your intentions to leave, when you explain your reasons, when you seek validation for your departure, you are doing something profoundly destructive. You are diffusing the power of your decision. Every explanation, every announcement, every justification is like a small leak in a pressure vessel. The power that should be building to propel your transformation is instead being released in useless words and explanations. Let me tell you about the 3 silences of departure. The first silence is the silence of decision, when you make your choice without announcement. The second silence is the silence of preparation, when you ready yourself without explanation. The third silence is the silence of action, when you actually leave without declaration. I recall a gentleman in New York who mastered this principle perfectly. He had been in a business partnership that was draining his energy and resources. For years he had threatened to leave, announced his dissatisfaction, explained his position to everyone who would listen. Nothing changed. Then he heard these principles, and he understood something profound. He realized that his constant announcements were not expressions of power, but admissions of powerlessness. Every time he declared his intention to leave, he was actually affirming his inability to do so. In that moment of understanding, he did something remarkable. He went completely silent about his intentions. Let me share with you what I call the principle of silent power. This principle states that true power moves in silence, just as the most fundamental forces of nature operate without noise. Gravity doesn't announce its pull. Electricity doesn't explain its flow. The earth doesn't declare its rotation. Now, let me share with you what happened to this gentleman after he embraced the principle of silent departure. Without a word to anyone, without a single announcement or explanation, he began preparing for his exit. He didn't engage in discussions about his plans, didn't seek validation for his decision, didn't broadcast his intentions. This brings us to what I call the law of undiffused power. You see, every time you speak about your intentions to leave, you're diffusing the very power needed to accomplish it. It's like trying to build pressure in a vessel full of holes. The very act of announcing creates leaks through which your manifestation power escapes. Consider the biblical story of Mary, who upon receiving the most magnificent news of all, that she would bear the Christ child, kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. She didn't run to announce it to the world. She didn't seek validation from her friends. She held the power of her transformation in perfect silence. Let me introduce you to what I call the 5 chambers of silent departure. The first chamber is the chamber of decision, where you make your choice in absolute privacy. The second is the chamber of preparation, where you quietly ready yourself for transition. The third is the chamber of detachment, where you release emotional bonds without declaration. The fourth is the chamber of action, where you move without announcement. The fifth is the chamber of completion, where you maintain silence even after departure. I remember a woman in Los Angeles who mastered these chambers perfectly. She had been in a social circle that no longer matched her spiritual evolution. For months, she had talked about leaving, explained her reasons, justified her decision. But with each explanation, she found herself more firmly bound to the very situation she wished to leave. Then she understood these principles and something profound happened. She entered the first chamber, making her decision in absolute privacy. No announcements, no explanations, no seeking of approval. In the second chamber, she quietly began preparing her consciousness for the transition, still maintaining perfect silence. Here's what you must understand about the power of undeclared intention. When you declare your intention to leave, you're actually creating resistance to your departure. Every announcement is met with an equal and opposite force, whether it's others' opinions, their attempts to persuade you otherwise, or their projection of doubt onto your decision. Think of a rocket leaving Earth's atmosphere. The most critical phase of its journey happens in silence, far above the clouds. If it were to announce its trajectory at every moment, if it were to seek validation for its path, it would never break free from Earth's gravitational pull. This brings us to what I call the silent point of power. This is the moment when you realize that your power to transform your reality lies not in your declarations, but in your silence. Not in your explanations, but in your quiet, unwavering assumption of the new state. Let me tell you about the 3 illusions of announced departure. The first illusion is that announcing your intention makes it more real. It doesn't. It makes it less real by diffusing your power. The second illusion is that explaining your reasons helps others understand. It doesn't. It only creates opportunities for doubt and opposition. The third illusion is that declaring your plans holds you accountable. It doesn't. It actually weakens your resolve by subjecting it to external opinions. Now let me share with you what I call the sacred mathematics of silence. In all of nature's most profound transformations, there is a mathematical precision to the power of silence. The less you speak about your departure, the more power accumulates for its manifestation. It's an inverse relationship that few understand, but all must master. I remember a student who came to me in San Francisco. He had been attempting to leave a career that no longer served his highest purpose. For years, he had been declaring his intentions, announcing his plans, explaining his reasons. With each declaration, he found himself more firmly entrenched in the very situation he wished to leave. Let me introduce you to the 7 seals of silent departure. The first seal is mental silence, keeping your decision private within your own mind. The second seal is emotional silence, maintaining calm detachment without external expression. The third seal is verbal silence, refusing to discuss your plans with anyone. The fourth seal is social silence, quietly withdrawing from situations that bind you to the old state. The fifth seal is digital silence, refraining from announcing your intentions on any platform. The sixth seal is spiritual silence, maintaining perfect faith without seeking validation. The seventh seal is manifest silence, allowing your actions alone to speak. Consider what I call the law of silent accumulation. Every moment you maintain silence about your departure, power accumulates in your consciousness. It's like filling a vessel with pressure. The more contained it is, the more powerful it becomes. But one small leak, one tiny announcement, and the power begins to dissipate. Let me tell you about a businessman in Chicago who mastered this principle. He had built a successful company, but knew it was time to move on to greater endeavors. Instead of announcing his plans, instead of seeking advice or validation, he went into complete silence about his intentions. This brings us to the principle of silent magnetism. When you maintain perfect silence about your departure, you create what I call a vacuum of manifestation. Nature abhors a vacuum, and into this silence rushes all the power needed for your transition. Think of the caterpillar entering its chrysalis. Does it announce to the world that it's about to become a butterfly? Does it seek approval for its transformation? No, it enters the silence of its cocoon. And in that perfect silence, magic happens. Here's what you must understand about the 3 powers of silent departure. The first power is the power of containment, keeping your energy focused and undiffused. The second power is the power of accumulation, building momentum through perfect silence. The third power is the power of manifestation, allowing your transformation to occur without resistance. Let me share with you what I call the silent bridge. This is the invisible pathway that connects your current state to your desired state. Every word spoken about your crossing weakens this bridge. Every announcement creates vibrations that could collapse your passage. Let me share with you now what I call the law of silent momentum. Just as a river runs deepest where it's most silent, your power to depart grows strongest in complete silence. When you understand this law, you'll never again feel the need to announce your transitions. I remember a woman in Boston who came to me in tears. She had been trying to leave a relationship that no longer served her growth. For months, she had been declaring her intentions, threatening to leave and explaining her reasons. With each declaration, she found herself more deeply entangled in the very situation she wished to escape. Let me introduce you to the 4 chambers of silent power. The first chamber is the chamber of recognition, where you acknowledge that your power lies in silence. The second chamber is the chamber of resolve, where your decision becomes unshakable through silence. The third chamber is the chamber of action, where your movements become deliberate and soundless. The fourth chamber is the chamber of completion, where your transformation manifests without announcement. Consider what I call the principle of silent authority. True authority never needs to announce itself. Does the sun announce its power to shine? Does gravity declare its ability to hold planets in orbit? No, they simply operate in silent, perfect authority. Think about the mighty oak tree. When it decides to release a leaf, does it make an announcement? Does it hold a committee meeting with the other leaves? Does it explain its decision to the forest? No, it simply lets go when the time is right in perfect silence. Let me share with you the 5 illusions of announced departure. First illusion, I announce my departure, it becomes more real. Truth. Announcements actually dilute the reality of your intention. Second illusion, I need to explain so others understand. Truth. Understanding from others is not required for your transformation. Third illusion, declaring my plans holds me accountable. Truth. External accountability weakens your internal resolve. Fourth illusion, I owe others an explanation. Truth, your only obligation is to your own spiritual growth. Fifth illusion, speaking about it helps process the change. Truth, silent processing is infinitely more powerful than verbal processing. I knew a man in Philadelphia who mastered this understanding perfectly. He had been in a business partnership for 20 years. When he realized it was time to move on, he didn't announce his intention. He didn't seek validation. He didn't explain his reasons. Instead, he went into what I call the sacred silence of transition. This brings us to the law of silent preparation. Just as nature prepares all its greatest transformations in silence, the butterfly in its cocoon, the seed beneath the soil, the child in the womb, your greatest transformations must be prepared in silence. Now let me share with you what I call the principle of silent elevation. Just as the eagle rises to its greatest heights without a sound, your ascension to new states of being must happen in perfect silence. This is a law, not a suggestion. Consider what I call the 3 levels of silent mastery. The first level is physical silence, where your body moves without announcement. The second level is mental silence, where your mind plans without declaration. The third level is spiritual silence, where your soul transforms without proclamation. I remember a teacher who came to me in Seattle. She had been announcing her intentions to leave her profession for 5 years. 5 years of declarations, 5 years of explanations, 5 years of announcements. And for 5 years she remained exactly where she was, bound by the very words she thought would set her free. Let me introduce you to the silent path of power. This path has 7 stages, each more profound than the last. Stage 1, the recognition. Understanding that true power moves in silence. Stage 2, the decision, making your choice without announcement. Stage 3, the preparation, reading yourself without declaration. Stage 4, the detachment, releasing bonds without explanation. Stage 5, the movement, taking action without proclamation. Stage 6, the transition, transforming without justification. Stage 7, the completion, arriving without celebration. This brings us to what I call the law of silent magnetism. When you maintain perfect silence about your departure, you create a magnetic field of manifestation. This field draws to you all the circumstances necessary for your transition, but it can only operate in silence. Think of the moon's influence on the tides. Does the moon announce its pull? Does it explain its gravitational force? No, it simply exerts its power in perfect silence, and the mighty oceans respond. Let me share with you the 4 pillars of silent power. First pillar, silent knowing, the deep understanding that your power lies in silence. Second pillar, silent movement, the ability to act without announcement. Third pillar, silent transformation, the capacity to change without declaration. Fourth pillar, silent completion, the power to arrive without explanation. I knew a businessman in New York who embodied these pillars perfectly. He had built $1 million company, and when he knew it was time to move on, he didn't announce it to his colleagues. He didn't explain it to his partners. He didn't declare it to his employees. Instead, he went into what I call the sacred chamber of silent execution. Consider what happened to a doctor in Miami who came to understand these principles. She had been in a medical practice that no longer aligned with her evolution. For years, she had been telling everyone about her plans to leave, seeking advice, explaining her position. And for years, she remained stuck, bound by the very words she thought would liberate her. Let me introduce you to the 9 secrets of silent power. First secret, power accumulates in silence. Second secret, movement is strongest when unannounced. Third secret, transformation requires no explanation. Fourth secret, true authority needs no declaration. Fifth secret, real change happens in silence. Sixth secret, power moves without sound. Seventh secret, silence builds momentum. Eighth secret, unspoken intentions manifest fastest. Ninth secret, the less you say, the more you accomplish. This brings us to what I call the law of silent momentum. Just as a snowball rolling down a mountain gains size and speed in silence, your power to manifest grows exponentially when kept in perfect silence. Think about what I call the 3 chambers of silent execution. First chamber, the chamber of decision, where you make your choice in absolute privacy, letting no word escape about your intentions. In this chamber, you hold your decisions sacred, understanding that each word spoken dilutes its power. Second chamber, the chamber of preparation, where you ready yourself in complete silence, gathering your resources, strengthening your resolve, all without a single announcement or explanation. Third chamber, the chamber of action, where you move with the silence of a shadow, executing your plans with the quiet precision of natural law. Let me tell you about the 5 commands of silent departure. First command, thou shalt not announce thy intentions. Second command, thou shalt not seek validation for thy decision. Third command, thou shalt not explain thy reasons. Fourth command, thou shalt not justify thy actions. Fifth command, thou shalt move in perfect silence. Now, my dear friends, let me share with you what I call the ultimate law of silent achievement. When you understand this law, you'll never again question the power of silence in transformation. Every great achievement in history has followed this pattern of silent execution. Consider what Scripture tells us. Be still and know that I am God. This stillness, this divine silence is not just about physical quiet. It's about maintaining perfect silence in your mind, your emotions, and your actions as you transition from one state to another. Let me share the final mysteries of silent power. The mystery of silent dignity. When you leave without announcement, you maintain a dignity that no explanation can provide. You see, explanations often become apologies, and apologies diminish your power. The mystery of silent strength. True strength never announces itself. The lion doesn't roar to prove its power. It moves in silence until action is necessary. The mystery of silent success. The greatest successes happen like the dawn, gradually, silently, but with absolute certainty. I want to leave you with what I call the 7 sacred truths of silent departure. First truth, your silence is your power. Second truth, your departure needs no announcement. Third truth, your transformation requires no explanation. Fourth truth, your movement demands no declaration. Fifth truth, your evolution seeks no validation. Sixth truth, your growth needs no justification. Seventh truth, your success requires no proclamation. Remember this eternal truth. The power to transform your life lies not in your declarations, but in your silence. Not in your announcements, but in your quiet assumption of the new state. Not in your explanations, but in your silent execution. As we conclude tonight, I want you to imagine yourself as the mighty ocean, powerful not because it announces its strength, but because it simply aye-ayes. The ocean doesn't explain why it moves. It doesn't announce its tides. It doesn't declare its depths. It simply operates in perfect harmony with divine law. Go forth now, not in doubt, not in fear, but in the absolute knowing that as you maintain your silence, as you move without announcement, your transformation must manifest its law. Remember these final words: your silence is your strength. Your quiet departure is your power. Your unannounced transition is your pathway to freedom. Maintain this silence, maintain this sacred discretion, and watch as your world transforms to match your silent assumption. For in the end, it is not in the noise of announcement, but in the silence of execution that all things are created. It is not in the clamor of explanation, but in the quiet of determined action that transformation occurs. Go now in silence, in confidence, in the absolute knowing that what you desire is already yours. For in consciousness, all things are possible to him who believes and maintains the silence of that belief. Good night, and God bless you all.
The universe is responding to you right now. Yes, right in this very moment, the energies of the universe are aligning themselves with your thoughts, your feelings, and your desires. You may not see it yet, but everything is unfolding in perfect harmony with the vibrations you're sending out. You might feel uncertain or even doubt this truth, but know this: what you experience today is the result of what you believed in the past. The miracle you are waiting for, the blessing you've been praying for, is not somewhere out of reach. It's right here in the realm of possibility, and it's coming closer with every breath you take. Every thought you hold, every emotion you feel, is a magnet pulling that miracle toward you. The universe is not distant, not detached from your desires, but intimately connected to them. It is already answering your call. You must begin to see the reality you wish to manifest in your mind's eye as if it's already here. The key to unlocking your miracle is to live as if it is already done. Your imagination is your power. What you see in your mind is already taking shape in the unseen. As you trust in this, as you affirm this truth, the universe begins to rearrange everything around you to bring that reality into your life. The world around you is not as solid as it may seem. It is malleable, responsive to the deepest desires of your heart. When you believe that your miracle is already on its way, when you believe that you are worthy of it, the universe has no choice but to manifest it for you. Right now, as you focus on the greatness you want to experience, the circumstances of your life begin to shift. You might not see it with your physical eyes yet, but trust that the forces at play are working for your good. The power of your inner state creates the outer world you live in. By seeing your miracle already in existence, you are commanding the universe to respond with the exact circumstances needed for its manifestation. You have been prepared for this moment. This is the moment where your belief, your feeling of certainty, will open the door to what you have asked for. The universe is never far from you. It is right here, responding to every thought, every feeling, every belief you carry. There are no coincidences, no random events. Everything is designed to bring you into alignment with your highest good. It doesn't matter how things look right now, or how long you've been waiting. What matters is that you believe it is already yours. The miracle you desire is already within your reach. As you continue to feel that it is so, it begins to materialize in ways you cannot yet understand. Trust in this process. Trust that the universe is always working with you, not against you. Your miracle is happening right now, and it's a reflection of your inner state. Everything that seems difficult, every challenge you faced, has prepared you for this moment. You are ready, and the universe is answering your call. As you hold the vision of your heart's desire, stay open and expect the miracle. It is coming, and it is already here. The universe is responding to your thoughts and feelings in every moment, whether you are aware of it or not. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every belief you hold creates a vibration that the universe picks up on. This is not a distant, abstract concept. It is a universal law that governs the way the world works. What you focus on expands, and what you give your energy to will begin to manifest in your reality. The universe is not indifferent or separate from your experiences. It is intimately connected to your inner state. At this very moment, the energy you are emitting is being reflected back to you through the circumstances and experiences you encounter. If you are filled with doubt, fear, or negativity, that energy will attract experiences that match those emotions. Conversely, if you are aligned with feelings of love, gratitude, and positivity, the universe will respond with circumstances that mirror those emotions. This is the power of the law of attraction at work. The universe does not discriminate. It does not judge your desires or decide if you are worthy of them. It only responds to the energy you put out. This means that the very thoughts and emotions you hold are sending a message into the universe, and that message is being answered. If you believe that success, happiness, or love are impossible for you, the universe will confirm that belief through situations that reinforce that limitation. On the other hand, when you embrace the belief that everything you desire is already on its way, you will begin to see signs of that desire manifesting in your life. One of the most powerful things you can do is to become conscious of your inner dialogue and emotional state. The more aware you become of the thoughts and feelings that dominate your mind, the more you can choose to shift them in the direction of your desires. For instance, if you are thinking thoughts of lack or limitation, consciously redirecting those thoughts toward abundance and possibility will send a new signal to the universe. It is important to remember that you are always in communication with the universe. Your thoughts are like prayers, your feelings are like commands, and the universe is always listening. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect or always in a positive state, but it does require you to be aware of the vibrations you are putting out. Even in moments of doubt or fear, you have the power to shift your energy and choose a new focus. This doesn't mean denying your emotions, but rather understanding that you have the ability to choose which emotions you want to cultivate and which ones you want to release. When you begin to consciously focus on thoughts and emotions that align with your desires, you start to shift your vibrational frequency. The universe, in turn, begins to respond to that frequency. It's like tuning a radio to the right station. Once you find the right frequency, you will hear the music clearly. Similarly, when you align your inner state with your desires, the universe begins to deliver the experiences and opportunities that match that energy. The response from the universe is always there, but it is up to you to tune into the right frequency. The moment you decide to focus on what you want, rather than what you fear or what you lack, you begin to attract more of what you desire. Your miracle is already on its way, even if you don't see it yet. The truth is, everything in life works in cycles of unseen energy before it manifests in the physical world. What may seem like a delay or a gap between desire and fulfillment is simply the period in which the universe is aligning all the necessary components for your miracle to come together. Often we are taught to believe that the moment we ask for something, it should appear immediately, but this is not the way the universe operates. It is always in motion, rearranging, organizing, and aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities in ways that our limited perception cannot always grasp. The reality is that your desires have already been acknowledged by the universe the moment you spoke them or thought them into existence. The universe does not hesitate or doubt your worthiness. It does not question whether you are deserving of what you want. The only thing that determines when your miracle will manifest is your alignment with the feeling of already having it. As you continue to focus on your desire, trust that the unseen forces are already at work, moving things into place, even if the manifestation is not visible to you at the moment. There are countless unseen forces that are working in your favor, things you cannot control or influence directly, but are essential for the creation of your miracle. For instance, people are being moved into your path right now, opportunities are being set up, and circumstances are shifting all around you in ways that align with your desires. What often happens is that your mind becomes attached to the idea that things should happen on your schedule. You look at the clock and think that your miracle should be arriving right now. But miracles, by nature, often work on a timeline far greater than our human comprehension. What seems like a delay is often a period of preparation, a moment in which the universe is aligning all the right components for you, in the perfect timing for your growth and success. It's essential to understand that everything happens in divine order. If things have not manifested yet, it doesn't mean they are not on their way. It simply means that you are being prepared. The stage is being set for your miracle to come in a way that is truly transformative. There is no such thing as a missed opportunity when it comes to the universe. What is meant for you cannot pass you by. It is coming to you in its own perfect timing. The universe is not in a rush, and neither should you be. As you trust in the unfolding process, you release the need for immediate gratification and allow things to happen in their natural course. Sometimes we get caught up in the illusion of waiting for something to appear in front of us. But what we often fail to see is that the miracle is already unfolding in the unseen world. The question isn't whether it will come, but rather whether you can hold the faith that it is already in motion. When you release resistance and stop forcing the outcome, you allow the miracle to flow to you in the way it was meant to. It's not about pushing harder or trying to make things happen on your own. It's about allowing, trusting, and knowing that the universe is already delivering what you need at the perfect moment. The key is to stay grounded in the knowing that your miracle is coming to you. Even if the manifestation isn't visible yet, it is working its way toward you. The more you trust and feel the reality of it in your heart, the faster it will appear in your life. Patience is not a passive act, but an active choice to align with the belief that everything is already on its way. Your miracle is not distant, not delayed, it is merely on its way, and your trust in this process is what accelerates its arrival. Believing your desire is already fulfilled unlocks the universe's power. This is one of the most profound and transformative truths that can change your life. When you hold the belief that what you desire has already manifested, you shift your vibration to match that of the desired outcome. It's not enough to simply wish for something or hope it will come to you. You must embody the belief that it is already yours. The moment you do this, you align your energy with the frequency of the manifestation, and the universe begins to bring it to you. The universe operates on the principle of faith, and when you believe in the reality of your desire, you demonstrate faith in the unseen forces that are always at work. This is not blind faith, it's a deep, knowing feeling that what you desire is already here. When you begin to see your dream as a present reality, you are no longer waiting for it to happen, you are living in the space where it has already happened. This creates an energetic magnet for your desires, because the universe responds to the emotions you generate, not just your thoughts. If you are vibrating with joy, gratitude, and excitement about your desire, the universe can't help but deliver it to you. Many people make the mistake of waiting for their desires to manifest before they believe they are worthy of them or before they feel the emotions associated with their fulfillment. But in truth, the universe works in the opposite way. You must first feel that your desire is already fulfilled before it can come into your life. The key is to trust that the moment you decide that something is already yours, the process of its manifestation is set into motion. The more you align your emotions with that belief, the more quickly the universe responds. Living in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled is a powerful tool. It shifts your mindset from a place of lack to one of abundance. You stop looking for external evidence of your desires and start trusting that the evidence already exists in the unseen realm. As you embody this belief, you begin to act in accordance with your new reality. You make choices, take actions, and think thoughts that align with the reality you want to create. This alignment attracts opportunities, resources, and people that match the vibration of your belief. In essence, you become a magnet for your desires by operating from the assumption that what you want is already in your life. This shift in mindset requires courage, for it asks you to step into the unknown and believe in something before you see it. It requires you to trust that the universe is always responding to your energy. However, this trust is what accelerates the process. When you live from the place of already having your desire, you stop questioning or doubting its arrival. Doubt is the enemy of manifestation because it sends mixed signals to the universe. When you trust that your desire is already fulfilled, you stop waiting and start living in the joy of its presence. You see, the universe responds to your emotional state more than anything else. Your emotions are the true indicator of your vibrational frequency. By feeling joy, gratitude, and love for your desire, you elevate your energy to a higher state of alignment. As you feel your desire as a present reality, the universe must respond with the circumstances, people, and experiences that align with this vibration. This is not magic, it is the law of attraction at work. It's the simple, yet profound truth that what you believe and feel, you will receive. So the key to unlocking the universe's power is to live in the belief that your desire has already manifested. Feel the joy of your desire as though it's already in your life, and trust that the universe is aligning everything in your favor to bring it to fruition. As you do, you'll witness the universe responding to you in ways you never imagined, bringing your deepest desires into your life with ease. The world around you is malleable and responds to your inner state in ways that are often invisible to the naked eye. The belief that the external world is fixed and unchangeable is an illusion. In reality, the world is constantly shifting, adapting, and reorganizing itself based on the energy we project into it. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are like the seeds that plant themselves in the soil of the universe, and the world reflects back what you have sown. Every moment, the universe is responding to you, even when you are unaware of it. Your inner world creates your outer world, and by altering your inner state, you have the power to influence the circumstances of your life. When you shift your perception and understand that the world around you is a reflection of your inner state, you begin to realize that you are not simply a passive observer of life, you are an active creator. The external world is constantly responding to the vibration you send out. If you are filled with fear, doubt, or negativity, the world will mirror those feelings back to you, reinforcing the belief that life is difficult or unkind. However, if you choose to focus on love, trust, and gratitude, you will begin to see the world around you shift in ways that support these feelings. The more you change your internal state, the more the world around you adjusts to match it. One of the most powerful ways to influence the world around you is through your belief system. Beliefs are the lenses through which you view life, and they directly affect the way you perceive the world. If you believe that opportunities are limited, that people are untrustworthy, or that life is a struggle, your perception will create a reality where these beliefs are reinforced. However, when you shift your beliefs to align with abundance, love, and possibility, your perception of the world changes, and you begin to attract experiences that match this new belief system. The external world becomes a playground for your inner state, and opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to unfold effortlessly. Your emotions are another key factor in how the world responds to you. Emotions are powerful signals that communicate your internal vibration to the universe. When you feel joy, excitement, or love, you are sending a message to the universe that you are in alignment with your desires. The universe, in turn, responds by bringing you more reasons to feel these emotions. Similarly, when you are feeling angry, frustrated, or anxious, the universe will bring you experiences that mirror these emotions. Understanding this principle gives you the power to direct your energy in ways that create the outcomes you desire. By consciously choosing to cultivate positive emotions, you influence the way the world interacts with you. The idea that the world around you is malleable also extends to your physical reality. You can begin to see your environment as a reflection of your inner state. If you are unhappy with your surroundings, whether it's your job, your home, or your relationships, the first step is to examine your inner state. The changes you seek in the outer world begin within you. When you shift your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, you begin to see the world around you transform. The people you interact with, the opportunities you encounter, and the circumstances you face all begin to align with your new inner state. The universe, being a reflection of you, has no choice but to mirror back what you are feeling and thinking. The more consciously you begin to direct your thoughts and emotions, the more you will see how the world around you shifts in response. By realizing that the world is malleable, you take back your power as a creator. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are the architect of your reality. When you master your inner state and maintain a vibration that aligns with your desires, the world becomes an open field of possibilities, waiting to be shaped by your energy. As you begin to understand that the universe is responding to you right now, you must realize that your thoughts have power, far beyond what you may have previously believed. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, is like a command sent out into the world. These thoughts are the building blocks of your reality. The universe doesn't respond to what you want or desire with words, it responds to the energy you emit. What you think about consistently, you begin to attract. This is not just wishful thinking, it's the fundamental law of creation. The energy that is emitted by your thoughts becomes a magnetic force that draws experiences, opportunities, and people into your life that match that frequency. For example, if you are constantly thinking about lack or fear, you are attracting more situations into your life that validate these feelings. On the other hand, when you focus your thoughts on abundance, possibility, and love, the universe responds by sending experiences that reflect those higher frequencies. The more you consciously choose your thoughts, the more you begin to shape the world around you. It's important to recognize that your thoughts are not isolated events. Every thought is connected to a broader stream of consciousness. The energy that you send out affects not just your own personal world, but the collective world as well. This means that when you think thoughts of love, peace, and hope, you are contributing to a larger collective shift toward those very qualities. Conversely, negative or fearful thoughts not only influence your own life but ripple out, contributing to the energy around you. This is why it is so important to be mindful of your thoughts, for they have far-reaching consequences, both on your life and on the world as a whole. To shift your reality, you must master your thinking patterns. The universe responds to consistency. If your thoughts are scattered or inconsistent, the universe will respond to that too. But when you consistently focus on thoughts that align with your desires, you begin to see rapid changes in your life. It's not about thinking about what you want for a moment and then reverting back to old thought patterns. It's about consistently holding the vision of your desired reality, no matter what the circumstances around you might look like. This is when true transformation begins to take place. The universe is always in motion, always responsive. This means that when you focus your attention on your desires, when you think and feel as if they have already manifested, the universe begins to rearrange itself to bring that vision into your life. It's like planting a seed in the ground. Once the seed is planted, the soil begins to work to nourish it, even though you cannot see the roots growing beneath the surface. Similarly, the universe begins to organize and align the people, opportunities, and circumstances around you when you hold the belief that your desire is already in motion. However, you must also be patient. Often the universe works in ways that you cannot see, and you may not always get immediate results. It may seem as though nothing is happening, but trust that beneath the surface, there is a flurry of activity. The universe is always responding to your thoughts, even when it appears that nothing is happening on the outside. The key is to trust the process, to believe that your thoughts are creating the reality you desire, and to remain in alignment with your vision no matter what external circumstances arise. The universe is not slow or hesitant in responding, it simply responds to the energy and frequency you emit. By being mindful of your thoughts, maintaining a positive and abundant mindset, and holding the vision of your desires as already fulfilled, you align yourself with the force that is always working on your behalf. Your thoughts are the key that unlocks the door to your desires, and as you align with that energy, the universe has no choice but to bring your desires into your life. The key to receiving the miracles and manifestations you desire lies in your ability to trust that they are already on their way. Trust is the foundation of every successful manifestation. It's not enough to just believe that your desires are possible. You must trust that they are already being shaped and delivered by the universe. Trusting in the process means surrendering the need to control every detail of how and when your desires will appear. It's about having unwavering faith that once you set your intention, the universe begins to organize everything in alignment with your desires. When you truly trust in the process of manifestation, you release the urgency and pressure of needing things to happen on your timeline. The need for control often comes from a place of fear or doubt, fear that your desires may never come to fruition, or doubt in your own worthiness of receiving them. But true trust comes from letting go of these limiting beliefs and knowing deep down that the universe is always working for your highest good. The more you trust, the more you allow the universe to work its magic. Trust is an invitation for the universe to step in and bring you what you asked for in a way that may even surpass your expectations. When you release the need for control, you are able to move forward with a sense of peace and confidence, knowing that all is well. This trust is not passive, but rather an active choice to live as if everything is unfolding perfectly, even before you can see the physical evidence. When you trust, you take inspired action toward your desires without needing to see immediate results. You remain aligned with the belief that your desire is already on its way, and that belief shapes the energy you send out. This energy attracts the right circumstances, people, and events, aligning your reality with the fulfillment of your dreams. Sometimes the process of manifestation requires you to trust through moments of uncertainty, when things may seem to be moving slowly or not at all. These moments are often tests of faith, but they are also opportunities to deepen your trust. It's during these times that you must remember that the universe operates in ways that are often unseen. Just because you cannot see the movement doesn't mean the universe isn't working behind the scenes. Trusting during the quiet times means knowing that your desires are being nurtured in unseen ways, and everything is happening in perfect timing. Trust is also deeply connected to gratitude. When you trust that the universe is always working in your favor, you naturally begin to feel grateful for the journey, the lessons, and the experiences that are leading you toward your manifestation. Gratitude amplifies the positive energy you are sending out, and the more grateful you are for what you have and for what is on its way, the faster your desires will come to fruition. By feeling gratitude for what you do not yet see, you align your energy with abundance, inviting more of it into your life. To cultivate trust, remind yourself daily that everything is working out in your favor. Practice affirmations that reinforce your belief in the universe's ability to deliver your desires. Trust is not something that happens overnight, but it is something that you can nurture by consistently choosing to believe that what you desire is already on its way. As you grow in trust, you will begin to see the signs, synchronicities, and miracles that confirm your desires are in motion. And when the miracles come, you will have cultivated such deep trust that you will know that the universe has always been responding to you, shaping your life in beautiful and extraordinary ways. The universe is always responding to you, shaping your reality in alignment with your inner state, thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Your thoughts are the seeds that plant the future, and every moment, the universe is working behind the scenes to bring your desires into fruition. By shifting your focus, choosing positive emotions, and maintaining unwavering trust, you unlock the power within you to manifest the life you've always dreamed of. Trust in the process, knowing that what you desire is already on its way, even when the external world doesn't show immediate results. Keep your mind focused, your heart open, and your spirit aligned with the belief that miracles are already unfolding in your life. The universe is responding to you right now, so get ready for the miracles that are about to manifest. Imagine just for a moment that you possess a power so profound, so limitless that it could shape the very fabric of your existence. A power that transcends the physical world, defies logic, and operates on a plane where the impossible becomes possible. This power is not a distant dream or a mystical force reserved for the few. It is a reality that resides within each one of us. It is the power of imagination. Imagination creates reality. This simple yet profound truth has been echoed throughout history by great thinkers, visionaries, and spiritual leaders. It is the cornerstone of Neville Goddard's teachings, where he passionately proclaimed that the human imagination is the divine spark within us, all the creative force that molds our lives and shapes our destinies. Many of us live in a world dictated by external circumstances. We see ourselves as victims of fate, buffeted by the winds of chance, and confined by the limitations of the material world. Yet, what if I told you that the world you perceive, the life you live, is but a reflection of your inner state? What if I told you that the true power to change your life lies not in the hands of others, not in the ebb and flow of fortune, but in your ability to imagine? Imagination is not mere fantasy or idle daydreaming. It is the conscious and deliberate use of the mind to create new realities. It is the ability to envision a desired outcome with such clarity and conviction that it becomes a living, breathing reality within you. And as you dwell in this imagined state, as you feel its truth, it begins to manifest in your physical world. This concept may seem abstract or even far-fetched, but consider this: every great achievement, every invention, every work of art, every monumental change in human history began as a seed of imagination in the mind of someone who dared to believe in the unseen. The skyscrapers that pierce the sky, the technological marvels that connect us, the social movements that reshape societies, all were born from the imagination of individuals who saw beyond what was and envisioned what could be. You too possess this extraordinary power. The question is not whether you are using it, but how you are using it. Are you imagining a life of abundance, joy, and fulfillment, or are you unconsciously imagining a life of lack, limitation, and struggle? The reality you experience is a direct reflection of the thoughts you hold in your mind and the images you consistently entertain in your imagination. The power of imagination is one of the most profound and transformative forces within the human experience. It is the faculty that allows us to transcend the limitations of our immediate reality and envision possibilities beyond the confines of our current circumstances. Imagination is not merely a tool for creativity or a source of entertainment. It is the very foundation upon which all human progress is built. It is through imagination that we conceive of new ideas, innovate, and bring forth creations that have the potential to change the world. When we speak of the power of imagination, we are referring to its ability to shape our perception of reality and in turn influence the outcomes we experience in our lives. Imagination operates on the principle that what we consistently visualize and emotionally invest in will eventually manifest in our physical world. This principle is rooted in the understanding that our thoughts are not passive or inert, they are dynamic and creative. Each thought we hold carries a vibrational frequency that resonates with corresponding elements in the universe, attracting experiences and conditions that align with those thoughts. The power of imagination is evident in every great achievement throughout history. From the grandest architectural marvels to the most groundbreaking technological advancements, every creation first existed as an idea in someone's mind. The Wright brothers, for example, imagined a world where humans could fly long before the first airplane took to the skies. Thomas Edison envisioned a world illuminated by electric light before the light bulb became a reality. These individuals did not merely wish for these outcomes, they actively engaged their imagination to see, feel, and believe in their creations before they materialized. This power is not reserved for the few, it is a universal gift available to all. Whether we are aware of it or not, we are constantly using our imagination to create our reality. The images and scenarios we replay in our minds, the emotions we attach to them, and the beliefs we hold all contribute to the shaping of our experiences. The key to harnessing this power lies in becoming conscious of how we use our imagination. Instead of allowing it to run wild with fear, doubt, or negativity, we can deliberately direct it towards positive and constructive outcomes. By cultivating a disciplined and intentional use of imagination, we can begin to shape our reality in alignment with our deepest desires and aspirations. This process requires faith and persistence, as the results may not be immediate. However, with continued practice, the power of imagination will inevitably bring forth the experiences and opportunities that resonate with our envisioned reality. Imagination serves as the creative force that drives the evolution of both the individual and society at large. At its core, imagination is the capacity to form mental images, concepts, and ideas that are not immediately present to the senses. However, its function extends far beyond mere visualization or fantasy. Imagination is the engine of creation, the very process through which thoughts and ideas are transformed into tangible reality. This creative force operates on the premise that the mind is a powerful, dynamic entity capable of generating new realities through focused thought and belief. The act of imagining something with clarity and emotional intensity plants a seed in the fertile ground of consciousness. Over time, this seed grows, nurtured by consistent attention and belief, until it manifests as a physical reality. This process is often described as the law of attraction or the principle of mental causation, where like attracts like and thoughts become things. Imagination as a creative force is responsible for the genesis of all human achievements. Every innovation, every work of art, and every societal change began as a figment of someone's imagination. Consider the world's greatest inventions, the automobile, the telephone, the internet, all of which started as ideas in the minds of visionaries who dared to imagine what did not yet exist. These inventors used their imagination not just to dream, but to explore the possibilities and potentials of their ideas. They visualized, iterated, and refined these concepts in their minds before bringing them to life. But the creative force of imagination is not limited to grand inventions or monumental changes. It also plays a crucial role in our everyday lives. Whether we are aware of it or not, we constantly use our imagination to create our personal experiences. When we visualize success, happiness, or abundance, and genuinely believe in these outcomes, we are actively engaging the creative force of imagination. This force then aligns our thoughts, actions, and the circumstances around us to bring these visions into reality. Moreover, imagination as a creative force is deeply intertwined with the concept of faith. Faith, in this context, is the belief in the unseen, the conviction that what we imagine can and will come to pass. Without faith, imagination remains a mere fantasy, a fleeting thought without substance. But when faith is combined with imagination, it becomes a powerful tool for creation. It is this combination that allows individuals to overcome obstacles, persist in the face of adversity, and ultimately manifest their desires. This creative process is not linear or always immediate. It often requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to hold on to the vision, even when external circumstances seem to contradict it. Yet history is replete with examples of individuals who use their imagination as a creative force to turn dreams into reality. They understood that imagination is not bound by the limitations of the present, it transcends time and space, allowing them to create a future that aligns with their highest aspirations. In personal development, recognizing imagination as a creative force empowers individuals to take control of their lives. Instead of passively reacting to circumstances, they learn to actively shape their reality by consciously directing their thoughts and imagination towards desired outcomes. This shift in perspective can be transformative, enabling people to break free from limiting beliefs and patterns, and to create a life that truly reflects their deepest desires and potentials. In essence, imagination as a creative force is the mechanism by which we mold our reality. It is the tool through which we can transcend our current limitations and bring forth new possibilities. By understanding and harnessing this power, we can become the architects of our lives, consciously creating a reality that aligns with our true desires and aspirations. Imagination, when understood as the creative force it is, stands in stark contrast to the way many people view and interact with the world around them. We often live in a society that places significant emphasis on external circumstances, the things that happen to us, the conditions in which we find ourselves, and the events that shape our daily lives. These external factors are frequently seen as the determining forces of our happiness, success, and overall well-being. However, the principle of imagination versus external circumstances challenges this common perception, asserting that the true power to shape our reality lies not in the world around us, but within our own minds. External circumstances are, by their nature, ever-changing and often unpredictable. We are taught to respond to these changes, to adapt, and to find ways to navigate the challenges they present. While this reactive approach is necessary for survival, it can also create a mindset where we feel like victims of fate, at the mercy of forces beyond our control. This way of thinking can lead to feelings of powerlessness and frustration, especially when we encounter situations that seem insurmountable or unfair. Imagination, however, offers an entirely different perspective. Rather than merely reacting to the world as it is, imagination allows us to envision the world as it could be. It empowers us to see beyond the limitations of our current circumstances and to create a new reality from within. This shift from external to internal focus is transformative. Instead of allowing our external environment to dictate our thoughts and feelings, we use our imagination to generate the thoughts and feelings that we want to experience. In doing so, we begin to influence our environment rather than being shaped by it. This concept is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It is about recognizing that our perception of reality is largely shaped by our imagination. Two people can experience the same external event yet interpret it in completely different ways based on their inner state. One might see a challenge as an insurmountable obstacle, while the other might view it as an opportunity for growth and learning. The difference lies in how each person uses their imagination to frame the situation. By harnessing the power of imagination, we can begin to take control of our external circumstances rather than being controlled by them. This process involves cultivating a disciplined mind that deliberately chooses to focus on desired outcomes rather than undesired ones. It means consistently imagining success, abundance, health, and happiness, even in the face of current circumstances that may suggest otherwise. Over time, this positive focus begins to alter our reality, as our thoughts and beliefs shape the actions we take and the results we achieve. Moreover, imagination provides the resilience needed to face adversity. When confronted with difficult external circumstances, those who can maintain a positive, imaginative vision of the future are more likely to persevere and find ways to overcome obstacles. Their ability to imagine a better reality fuels their motivation and determination, helping them to stay focused on their goals even when the going gets tough. This resilience is not just about enduring challenges, but about transforming them into stepping stones towards greater achievements. But in the context of personal growth and success, understanding the dynamic between imagination and external circumstances is crucial. It allows us to move from a reactive to a proactive stance in life. Instead of waiting for the world to change or for circumstances to improve, we use our imagination to create the change we wish to see. This empowers us to live more consciously and intentionally, crafting a life that reflects our true desires and potentials, rather than merely adapting to the conditions imposed by the external world. The principle of imagination versus external circumstances teaches us that while we may not always have control over what happens to us, we always have control over how we respond. And it is through the power of imagination that we can transform our response into a powerful creative act that shapes our reality in alignment with our highest aspirations. The role of belief in manifestation is central to the process of turning imagination into reality. While imagination is the faculty that allows us to visualize new possibilities and create mental images of our desires, belief is the force that gives those images the power to materialize in the physical world. Without belief, imagination remains merely a collection of fleeting thoughts and daydreams, ideas without substance or impact. It is belief that bridges the gap between the imagined and the real, transforming abstract ideas into tangible experiences. Belief operates on the principle that what we accept as true, we create in our reality. This means that our deeply held convictions, whether conscious or unconscious, act as a filter through which our experiences are shaped. If we believe that we are capable, worthy, and deserving of success, our actions, decisions, and the opportunities that come our way will reflect that belief. Conversely, if we harbor doubts about our abilities or question our worthiness, those doubts will manifest as obstacles, limitations, and missed opportunities. Belief is not just a mental assent to an idea, it is an emotional and psychological alignment with that idea. When we believe something deeply, it influences not only our thoughts but also our emotions, attitudes, and behaviors. For instance, if you believe that you are destined to achieve a particular goal, this belief will inspire confidence, determination, and perseverance. You will be more likely to take the necessary steps, overcome challenges, and stay focused on your path, because your belief supports and sustains you. One of the key insights from the study of belief and manifestation is that our beliefs are often self-fulfilling prophecies. This concept, often referred to as the law of assumption, suggests that whatever we assume to be true in our minds will eventually become our reality. If you assume that the world is full of opportunities and that success is inevitable, your mind will naturally seek out and create conditions that align with that assumption. On the other hand, if you assume that life is a struggle and that success is out of reach, your experiences will likely confirm that negative belief. The power of belief in manifestation can be observed in many areas of life, from personal achievements to health, relationships, and even broader social phenomena. Consider the placebo effect in medicine, where patients who believe they are receiving effective treatment often experience real improvements in their condition, even when the treatment is inert. This demonstrates the profound impact that belief can have on physical reality. Similarly, individuals who believe in their ability to succeed in their careers are more likely to achieve their goals, as their belief drives them to take consistent action, seize opportunities, and persist in the face of challenges. However, Belief can also be a double-edged sword. Negative or limiting beliefs can sabotage our efforts and keep us stuck in patterns of failure and frustration. These beliefs are often deeply ingrained, formed through past experiences, cultural conditioning, or repeated negative self-talk. For example, a person who believes they are not good enough may unconsciously undermine their own success by procrastinating, avoiding challenges, or settling for less than they deserve. Breaking free from these limiting beliefs requires self-awareness, a willingness to challenge and change old patterns of thinking, and the cultivation of new, empowering beliefs. The process of building and reinforcing belief in manifestation involves several key steps. First, it requires clarity about what you truly desire. Vague or conflicted desires can lead to conflicting beliefs, which in turn produce mixed results. Once you are clear about your goals, you need to cultivate a strong, unwavering belief in your ability to achieve them. This involves visualizing your desired outcome regularly, affirming your belief in its inevitability, and aligning your actions with your desired reality. Moreover, belief must be accompanied by trust in the process. Manifestation is not always instantaneous. It often requires time, patience, and persistence. There may be periods where progress seems slow or obstacles appear insurmountable. But during these times, maintaining belief is crucial. Doubt and fear are natural responses, but they must be managed and overcome through continued focus on the desired outcome and confidence in its realization. In addition to personal belief, the collective beliefs of a community or society can also influence manifestation. Shared beliefs create a collective reality, shaping cultural norms, societal structures, and the overall environment in which individuals operate. Understanding this can empower you to align your personal beliefs with those that support your goals, while also challenging and transforming collective beliefs that may be limiting or outdated. Belief is the catalyst that turns imagination into reality. It is the inner conviction that what you imagine and desire is not only possible but inevitable. By cultivating strong, positive beliefs and aligning them with your goals, you harness the full power of manifestation, creating a life that reflects your deepest aspirations and potentials. Belief is not just a passive state of mind, it is an active force that shapes your destiny, driving you towards the fulfillment of your dreams. Imagination as conscious creation is a powerful concept that underscores the deliberate and intentional use of imagination to shape one's reality. Unlike passive daydreaming or random thoughts that pass through the mind, conscious creation involves actively harnessing the power of imagination to bring about desired outcomes in life. This process is rooted in the understanding that our thoughts, when combined with focused intention and belief, have the ability to influence and even create the circumstances we experience. At its core, conscious creation is about taking control of the creative process that is constantly at work within us. Whether we are aware of it or not, our imagination is always active, generating ideas, scenarios, and mental images that influence our emotions, behaviors, and ultimately our reality. However, without conscious direction, this process can lead to the manifestation of experiences that are not aligned with our true desires or goals. It is easy to fall into patterns of negative thinking, worry, or fear, which can then create unwanted outcomes. Conscious creation, therefore, is about stepping into the role of the deliberate creator of your life. It involves recognizing that you have the ability to choose what you focus on and what you imagine, and understanding that these choices directly impact the reality you experience. This concept is empowering because it shifts the locus of control from external circumstances to your inner world. Instead of feeling like a victim of life's events, you begin to see yourself as the architect of your own destiny. The process of conscious creation begins with clarity of intention. This means having a clear and specific idea of what you want to create in your life. Whether it is a successful career, a loving relationship, improved health, or any other goal, clarity is essential because it provides a target for your imagination to focus on. Without a clear intention, your imagination may wander aimlessly, producing inconsistent or mixed results. Once you have clarity of intention, the next step is to actively engage your imagination in visualizing the desired outcome. This involves more than just thinking about what you want. It requires creating a vivid mental picture of the outcome, as if it has already been achieved. The more detailed and sensory-rich this visualization, the more powerful it becomes. By imagining yourself living in the reality you desire, you begin to align your thoughts and emotions with that outcome, making it more likely to manifest. Belief is another key component of conscious creation. For your imagination to effectively create your desired reality, you must believe that it is possible. Doubt and skepticism can weaken the creative process, causing delays or even preventing the manifestation altogether. Building belief involves affirming your faith in your ability to create your reality and trusting in the process of manifestation. This trust is particularly important when the results are not immediately visible. It is during these times that many people lose faith and revert to old patterns of negative thinking, which can undo the progress made. In addition to belief, action plays a critical role in conscious creation. While imagination and belief set the foundation, action is what brings your imagined reality into the physical world. This does not mean forcing things to happen, but rather taking inspired actions that are in alignment with your desired outcome. These are actions that feel natural and intuitive, often arising from a place of inner guidance. When you act in harmony with your imagination and beliefs, you create a powerful synergy that accelerates the manifestation process. Conscious creation is also about persistence and consistency. The process of creating a new reality is not always instantaneous. It often requires sustained focus and effort over time. This means regularly engaging in practices that support your creative intentions, such as daily visualization, affirmations, and maintaining a positive mindset. It also means staying committed to your goals, even when faced with challenges or setbacks. Persistence is what separates those who successfully manifest their desires from those who do not. Moreover, conscious creation is an ongoing process. Once you achieve a desired outcome, it is important to continue using your imagination and belief to sustain and build upon that success. Life is dynamic, and the act of creation never truly ends. There is always room for growth, expansion, and new experiences. By continuously engaging in conscious creation, you can keep evolving and improving your life in alignment with your highest aspirations. Imagination as conscious creation is about taking an active role in shaping your reality through the deliberate use of your imagination. It involves clarity of intention, vivid visualization, emotional engagement, belief, inspired action, persistence, and a commitment to ongoing creation. By mastering these elements, you can harness the full power of your imagination to create a life that reflects your deepest desires and true potential. This process not only transforms your external circumstances, but also empowers you to live with greater purpose, fulfillment, and joy. The historical examples of imagination in action serve as powerful testimonies to the transformative power of the human mind. Throughout history, imagination has been the driving force behind some of the most significant advancements and achievements in human civilization. These examples illustrate how imagination, when combined with vision, determination, and belief, can bring forth extraordinary changes and shape the course of history. By examining these instances, we can gain a deeper understanding of how imagination has been and continues to be a catalyst for progress and innovation. One of the most iconic examples of imagination in action is the story of the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright, who are credited with inventing and building the world's first successful airplane. In the early 20th century, the idea of human flight was considered a fantasy, something that belonged to the realm of dreams and myth. Despite the widespread skepticism, the Wright brothers were able to imagine a world where humans could soar through the skies like birds. Their unwavering belief in this vision fueled years of experimentation, failures, and refinements. In 1903, their imagination became a reality when they successfully achieved powered flight with the Wright flight at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Their invention not only revolutionized transportation but also opened up new possibilities for global connectivity and exploration, profoundly altering the trajectory of human civilization. Another profound example of imagination in action is found in the life of Thomas Edison, one of the most prolific inventors in history. Edison held over 1,000 patents, with some of his most famous inventions including the phonograph, the motion picture camera, and the electric light bulb. The electric light bulb, in particular, exemplifies the power of imagination. Before its invention, the idea of lighting homes and streets with electricity seemed far-fetched. Gas lamps and candles were the norm, and the concept of electric light was something that many people could not even conceive. However, Edison's imagination allowed him to envision a world illuminated by electric light. Through relentless experimentation and innovation, he overcame numerous challenges, and in 1879, he successfully developed a practical and long-lasting electric light bulb. Edison's imagination not only transformed the way people lived, but also laid the foundation for modern electrical infrastructure, which is now an essential part of daily life. Imagination has also played a pivotal role in the field of science and medicine. Consider the story of Dr. Jonas Salk, who developed the first successful polio vaccine. In the early 20th century, polio was a devastating disease that left thousands of people particularly children, paralyzed or dead each year. The fear of polio was pervasive, and finding a cure seemed like an insurmountable challenge. However, Salk imagined a world where polio could be eradicated. He believed that a vaccine could be developed to prevent the disease and dedicated himself to this vision. In 1955, after years of research and testing, Salk's imagination became a reality when his polio vaccine was declared safe and effective. The widespread distribution of the vaccine led to a dramatic decline in polio cases and eventually to the near eradication of the disease worldwide. Salk's imagination not only saved countless lives but also changed the future of public health. In the realm of social change, imagination has been a crucial force behind movements that have reshaped societies. One of the most powerful examples is the civil rights movement in the United States, led by figures such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., at a time when racial segregation and discrimination were deeply entrenched in American society. King dared to imagine a future where people would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. His famous I Have a Dream speech, delivered during the March on Washington in 1963, was a vivid expression of his imaginative vision for a more just and equal society. King's ability to articulate this vision inspired millions of people to join the struggle for civil rights, ultimately leading to significant legal and social changes, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. King's imagination in action not only transformed the lives of African Americans, but also laid the groundwork for ongoing efforts towards equality and justice. In the field of technology, the imagination of pioneers like Steve Jobs has reshaped the way we interact with the world. Jobs, the co-founder of Apple Inc., imagined a future where technology would be accessible, intuitive, and seamlessly integrated into everyday life. His vision led to the creation of revolutionary products like the iPhone, iPad, and MacBook, which have changed the way we communicate, work, and entertain ourselves. Jobs' ability to imagine products that people didn't even know they needed revolutionized multiple industries and has had a lasting impact on global culture and society. These historical examples demonstrate that imagination is not just a passive mental activity, but a powerful force for change and innovation. The individuals who brought these imaginative visions to life did so by challenging the status quo, thinking beyond the limitations of their time, and believing in the possibilities of what could be. Their imagination in action not only created new realities, but also expanded the boundaries of what humanity could achieve. These examples also highlight the importance of perseverance and belief in the process of manifestation. The Wright brothers, Edison, Salk, King, and Jobs all faced significant obstacles and opposition, yet they persisted because they believed in the power of their imagination. Their stories remind us that imagination, when combined with determination and action, can overcome even the most daunting challenges. The historical examples of imagination in action serve as a powerful reminder of the limitless potential of the human mind. They show us that imagination is the starting point of all innovation and progress, and that by daring to imagine a better future, we can bring about profound and lasting change. These examples inspire us to cultivate our own imagination, to dream big, and to take bold actions that can shape the world for the better. The concept that our external reality is a reflection of our inner states is a fundamental principle in many philosophical, psychological, and spiritual teachings. This idea posits that the world we experience, our circumstances, relationships, and the events that unfold in our lives mirrors our internal beliefs, thoughts, and emotions. In essence, what we carry within ourselves, consciously or unconsciously, is projected outward and forms the reality we live in. Understanding this principle is crucial because it empowers us to take responsibility for our experiences and encourages us to cultivate a positive, empowered inner state to create the life we desire. At the core of this principle is the understanding that our thoughts and emotions are not isolated, inert phenomena, but are powerful forces that shape our reality. The mind acts like a magnet, attracting experiences that align with the predominant thoughts and feelings we hold. For instance, if someone constantly harbors thoughts of fear, lack, or unworthiness, these inner states will manifest as corresponding external circumstances, perhaps in the form of financial difficulties, troubled relationships, or missed opportunities. On the other hand, a person who cultivates thoughts of abundance, self-worth, and confidence is likely to experience success, fulfilling relationships, and a life that reflects those positive qualities. This idea is closely related to the concept of vibration or frequency, which suggests that everything in the universe, including our thoughts and emotions, vibrates at a certain frequency. When we think and feel positively, we emit a higher vibration, which attracts similar high vibration experiences, people, and opportunities into our lives. Conversely, negative thoughts and emotions emit a lower vibration, drawing in experiences that resonate with that lower frequency. Thus, our internal state acts as a beacon, signaling to the universe what to bring into our reality. The reflection of inner states in reality is also evident in the way we perceive and interact with the world. Our beliefs and attitudes act as filters through which we interpret our experiences. For example, two people might face the same challenge, but their responses could be entirely different based on their inner states. A person who believes in their ability to overcome obstacles will approach the challenge with determination and optimism, likely finding solutions and learning from the experience. Conversely, someone who believes they are destined to fail may feel overwhelmed, discouraged, and ultimately give up, reinforcing their belief in failure. In this way, our inner state not only influences what happens to us, but also how we respond to and perceive those events, creating a self-reinforcing cycle. Moreover, the reflection of inner states in our reality is not limited to individual experiences, but extends to our interactions with others. Our relationships often mirror our beliefs about ourselves and the world. If we hold negative beliefs about our worthiness of love or respect, we may attract relationships that validate those beliefs, leading to experiences of neglect, abuse, or disappointment. Conversely, when we cultivate a strong sense of self-worth and love, we tend to attract relationships that reflect these positive qualities, marked by mutual respect, support, and affection. This principle also explains why certain patterns or recurring themes appear in our lives. These patterns are often a direct reflection of unresolved issues, limiting beliefs, or emotional wounds that we carry within. Until we address and transform these inner states, the external manifestations of those issues will continue to appear, giving us repeated opportunities to learn and grow. For example, a person who repeatedly finds themselves in toxic relationships might be carrying unresolved beliefs about their worthiness or fear of abandonment. By recognizing these patterns as reflections of their inner state, they can begin the work of healing and shifting their beliefs, which in turn will change the nature of the relationships they attract. Understanding that our reality reflects our inner state also places a significant emphasis on self-awareness and personal growth. It encourages us to look within, to examine our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, and to take responsibility for the life we are creating. Instead of blaming external circumstances or other people for our problems, we begin to see how we may be contributing to those situations through our internal state. This shift in perspective can be incredibly empowering because it means that we have the power to change our reality by changing ourselves. Transforming our inner state involves several key practices. One of the most important is cultivating positive and empowering beliefs. This can be achieved through affirmations, visualization, and self-reflection. By consistently focusing on thoughts and beliefs that align with the reality we want to create, we begin to shift our internal state, which will eventually be reflected in our external circumstances. Another important practice is emotional regulation. Emotions are a direct expression of our inner state, and they play a crucial role in shaping our reality. Learning to manage and transform negative emotions, such as fear, anger, or resentment, into positive ones like love, gratitude, and joy, is essential for creating a harmonious external reality. Techniques such as mindfulness, meditation, and emotional release can be helpful in this process.